therapy, I titled this video. Been in a bluesy state for the last couple of weeks now, and I wanted to talk about how music helps with that. You know, like a lot of people don't realize that sadness is not always the bad guy. You've ever seen the movie Inside Out? Spoiler alert, right? Sometimes sadness, your ability to function in the midst of hard times, dark times, tragic events in life, the ability to just get out of bed and just function is something we need, you know? And for me, music has always been there, you know? Music has been kind of a salve to the wounds of hurt in life. And so our dog took a turn for the worst. Our dog that we rescued, that we've had in our life for the last 15 years, took a turn for the worst. And I'll talk about that a little later. But I wanted to talk about some of the music that we put on, because I feel like my taste for the blues has matured. You know, when I was younger, man, like I was introduced to the blues through like Led Zeppelin 1, you know. And then I discovered that Led Zeppelin was a cover band, right? And I got into Stevie Ray Vaughan, you know, and the Fabulous Thunderbirds, George Thorogood, another guy who covered a lot of those songs.
I'll stay with you maybe a couple days. He said, let me go and ask my wife.
He goes upstairs, he comes back down.
I seen his face, I know there was no. He said, I don't know, man, she kind of funny. You know?
I said, yeah, and you funny too, everybody funny. When you ain't got no money, when you run out of money, everybody's funny.
George Thorogood, who put a raspy rock and roll edge on a lot of that old blues music. I mean, so did Led Zeppelin, and kind of made these songs their own in a unique, different kind of way. But the subject matter of a lot of this blues music is birthed out of pain. You know, it's birthed out of extremely hard times, incredible suffering that music was really derived from here in the United States. Coming out of Chicago, a lot of folks who were, you know, going through the horrible times that our country had with not just civil rights, but coming out of slavery. I mean, the fact that we did that in this country is incredibly sad. And that there's a whole religious war fought over it. It's even, it's dark, difficult, hard. We fought a war over it. That's you know, that is the birthplace of the blues. That's emotionally the hurt, the struggle, and finding life and finding meaning to take on another day, right? To live another moment, to keep living, you know, beyond the emotional pain and suffering. And I heard a study years ago that talked about how emotional pain, when someone's suffering emotional pain, it on a meter where they measure pain, it's very much like physical pain. Physical pain you feel in your body. You know, somebody smashes your hand and like right away. There's no guarantees in life. Just like a person having their finger smashed with a hammer, we could get a phone call that could bring that kind of pain, you know. There's no guarantees in life, that we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. But that's the beauty of the blues. That's the beauty of rock and roll. In hip-hop, you know, some of this really hard things that we go through in life, but we still live on. We still get up. We still do our life. We still choose love and beauty. You know, art is another example of this emotional expression of life, being alive and feeling the colors, the sounds, the structure. So Midnight Blue, this is an album we put on. This is a great blues album, man. It's incredible. My wife and I, Thursday night, we took Gunnar to the vet and we let him go, you know. We let him go from the pain. A lot of it was our stuff, you know. We're just kind of, he was suffering for a while, and we finally, you know, released his spirit. We came home that night and put on some of these old albums. Mayall. This is a blues jazz fusion album that I got. I got a while back at Silver Platters in Seattle. That was a great record to just sit back and listen to, you know. Put our phones down and just kind of feel this music wash over us. Sort of like a meditation, you know. Letting Gunnar pass and dropping a needle, getting up and turning over the record, this kind of ritual. Just incredibly helpful. Listen to a little bit of Howlin' Wolf of this CD. Art and music are another thing to be grateful for, you know. I talk about gratitude a lot. That's one of those things, is trying to get into that place of being grateful for the years that we had with Gunnar. And I'm very, very grateful. But it doesn't mean that death still doesn't suck, you know? Death is fucking horrible. And everyone gets sad when it happens. When you have to say goodbye to a loved one, or even the, you know, the loved animal. It's a family member is what he was, you know, and it's very hard. It still requires grieving. It still requires grieving and feeling sad. And I think that's another thing that I've done in the past, is try to just work too much or avoid it, or, you know, turn on a show, or just, I mean, putting on a record is different for me, because it's not turning up the noise as much as it's letting sound and art wash over you. Because that's a distraction, right? That's a distraction from actually feeling pain, is to just turn up the sound and go to work and just try and not feel it. I think for me, this, you know, my wife and I just sitting there and just listening to the blues, whether you're with someone or alone, man, it's just letting yourself feel it, letting yourself cry. Man, I cried like a baby. I cried so much Thursday. Oh my God. But I had to let that wash through me, because the old part of me that used to just pretend like I'm not hurting, like that just caused all sorts of problems. I'm prone to substance abuse and addiction, and, you know, distracting myself from feeling stuff. I laugh, but that's me, you know. I know this weakness about myself, and I need to take that on and be, you know, be present in it. let myself hurt, let myself grieve, and this too shall pass. Like, it does go through you, it does wash over you. You know, time does not heal all wounds. That's BS. Time, when you choose to grieve and be sad and sit in sackcloth and ashes, as the old saying says, in that way time heals wounds, but not if you're just trying to shove it all down inside, which you know, especially us older white guys. My older white guy friends tend to really not want to feel stuff. And I know it's maybe stereotyping, but I'm sure some of my black friends, guys and girls, you know, I mean, women are prone to do this too, but especially for some reason, it seems like a lot of my white guy friends really have like huge defense mechanisms and walls up and ways of not feeling stuff. And it's just not healthy. It's just not. So that's all I got. Thanks for watching. R.I.P. Gunner. Here's a little video I made about our old boy Gunner. Peace. Gunner at Gunner's Tire Shop. Gunner dog. He's a Gunner dog. Now he won't wag his tail because he knows I'm recording him. He's not wagging it, Dana. He's not gonna wag his tail now. Oh, goody. Oh, there he goes. It's wagging. It's wagging. Gunner, and tonight he jumped up on the couch for the first time in months. It's been a long time since he's jumped up on the couch, so this was a pretty cool little milestone.